What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today, I know this news is a little bit old, but I'm going to give my take on this situation. Zach LaVine, a couple of days ago, suggested to certain teams his preferences that I believe he would want in terms of a trade situation. And we're going to be listing those preferences, discussing whether or not it'd be a good fit for Zach LaVine, maybe a good fit for the Bulls as well, but also discuss whether or not we should be listening to Zach LaVine's preferences and whether or not he's truly deserved the right to get traded where he specifically wants to go. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and obviously the entire situation around Zach LaVine. Again, I know it's a big news story, and I feel like we will never stop talking about it until the trade finally happens. But until then, there's a lot to discuss. So, of course, Zach LaVine suggested that the people or the teams that he'd be interested in going to are the Los Angeles Lakers, the Miami Heat, and the Philadelphia 76ers. Those are the teams that he could potentially want to trade with. Obviously, I think as well, it said that the San Antonio Spurs and the Sacramento Kings are also on his radar. So there's a couple of teams in there. I'll quickly discuss whether or not Zach LaVine could be a good fit for these teams. Starting off with the LA Lakers, and as much as I know a lot of people don't like the trade that the LA Lakers offer, in terms of would Zach LaVine be a good fit there? Absolutely, he would be a good fit there. Again, he's going to be playing with a dominant center when he wants to be in Anthony Davis. He's going to be playing with a player that will have the ball in his hands the majority of the time, and he could be focused on just scoring the ball. And I think that's where Zach LaVine is at his best, when he's able to play an off-ball role and use some of those catch and shoots and go to the paint and be able to play a scoring mindset instead of trying to be the point guard on his team. He will not be a point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers, and playing with LeBron James I think will definitely help Zach LaVine. So I think it could be a good fit there. The Miami Heat, again, Miami Heat play defense. That's the problem with Zach LaVine at the moment. Zach LaVine is a good one-on-one defender, but he gets caught sleeping in the off-ball departments, I believe. So Miami is a team that likes to focus on defense. Eric Spoelstra and the Heat culture is focused around hard work and defense and finding gems and working on them. So Miami's a very good defensive team. The Bulls are a very good defensive team, but you would arguably say, is Zach LaVine the best defender that they would possibly want? I think offensively, it doesn't make sense either unless they give up Tyler Hero. And I don't see why Miami would be giving up Tyler Hero at this point in time, considering how good he has been for the Miami Heat. So that doesn't make sense. Altogether, I would find it awfully strange if Miami would pull the trigger on a trade for Zach LaVine, but anything is possible, I guess you could say. But it depends on the package we would get back, but I don't think he'd be the best fit for the Miami Heat. And I'm not necessarily sure he'd be the best fit for the Philadelphia 76ers either, in all honesty. Again, they have superstar caliber players and they have good scorers on that team. They have Tyrese Maxey, they have Joel Embiid, they have Tobias Harris. I think Zach LaVine can work for the Philadelphia 76ers, but is it the ideal fit? If James Harden was a guy that fit for the 76ers but didn't work there, that's kind of how I view Zach LaVine. Yeah, he may fit the 76ers. There'll still be a competitive team with him in there. He will still be able to get to the playoffs, and the 76ers can still compete, but I don't think he's the best fit for them. I think they can find better superstars out there that would actually carry them over the hump. I'm not sure if Zach LaVine's that guy for them, but again, I think it could work nicely. So 2 out of the 3 teams that I think he would want to do a trade with could work. I think the Lakers would be the best fit for him in all honesty. But there's other teams in there. The Sacramento Kings, I think, is the perfect fit for Zach LaVine. Again, playing next to a guy like De'Aaron Fox, they don't necessarily have, I guess, a really standalone shooting guard there. Zach LaVine can fill in that role. There's a dominant center there in Sabonis that is a very good pick and roll threat, very good post threat. They've got 3-point shooters all around them. Zach LaVine, I think, will have the best time in Sacramento. So that's where I think, if he had to pick his destination, I would be saying go to Sacramento. That's the best place for you, where you can thrive. You're on a winning team, a team that has bunches of fans supporting them right now in a positive environment. You can light the beam. That's where I think Zach LaVine should be going. I don't know if Sacramento Kings fans feel the same way, but I think that's the best fit for him, in my eyes at least. I don't really understand the Spurs one. Again, the Spurs are an entirely different situation than any team that he's mentioned here. I get it. Victor Wembanyama is a massive threat, and maybe Zach LaVine in the pick and roll with Wembanyama could work, but I don't see why the Spurs would want to do this. And I think Zach LaVine as well, it just doesn't make sense. They're not ready to win now. So going to the Spurs, you're in the same situation as you are with the Bulls, except the Spurs have a brighter future. That's the only difference between the Bulls and the Spurs. If you're looking to win now, I don't see why the Spurs is the outcome that you want to go to. But it is what it is. Maybe Greg Popovich can make it work. I don't really know. But anyway, that's besides the point. To answer the question of this video, those are the teams that are interested in him, but should the Bulls give Zach LaVine that respect to be able to go to a team that he's requested a trade with? Well, let's get started with the first thing here that ultimately decides my answer. Zach LaVine does not have, I guess, a no-trade clause in his contract, as far as I'm aware. Basically, the difference, a lot of people are saying, look at what the Phoenix Suns got for Bradley Beal. It was close to nothing. They got him for easily, you know, a steal in many ways. And people were very upset on both sides. Even I said the Wizards surely could have done better. But at least the difference between LaVine and Bradley Beal is that Bradley Beal had a no-trade clause. He basically had to choose the teams that he wanted to go to, and the team had to trade Bradley Beal to one of those teams. Otherwise, he could just stay with the Wizards if he really wanted to. And if the Wizards didn't want that, or Bradley Beal didn't want that, you have an unhappy player there with a no-trade clause that wants to go to a team. They made it happen. That's the difference. Zach LaVine doesn't have a no-trade clause. So ultimately, he doesn't have a say, realistically, on where he could go. We could trade him to the Detroit Pistons and he could sit at the bottom of the Eastern Conference if we really want to do that to him. So that's one thing. He doesn't have a no-trade clause, which gives us more leverage than what the Bradley Beal situation was. We have more leverage. Is it that much more leverage? Some people will argue that because Bradley Beal has proven to be the better player at this point. But we have leverage. And Zach LaVine is still a very good player at his best. So that's one thing we're going to keep in mind. Has he been, I guess, deserved the treatment to be able to do some of the things that I guess he would want to do and go to a team that he wants to go to, and the Bulls respecting his decision and maybe taking a hit in terms of the trade package to give Zach LaVine the ultimate respect to put him on a team that he would want to go to? Well, let's talk about that as well. There are certain players, in my opinion, that have absolutely deserved going to the team that they want to go to and has shown loyalty to the teams that they have. Damian Lillard is one of those guys. Look at an example here. Damian Lillard has stuck with that organization from the beginning of their draft all the way up until now. And eventually, with the whole trade situations, I get it. Portland was supposed to do a trade with Miami. Miami seemed to be the only destination. But as soon as Damian Lillard opened up to joining the Bucks, that's exactly where he went. And he ended up getting what he wanted out of that situation. And Portland got what they wanted out of that situation. It's the ultimate sign of respect from an organization and a player. Something that I don't think happens anywhere near enough. But it's good to see that when the discussion of the Milwaukee Bucks came alive, Damian Lillard got his request. But for Zach LaVine, is it the same thing? Well, we can't deny Zach LaVine has stayed loyal. Can't deny it. He signed that max extension here. He obviously stayed from his rookie contract, his free agency period, where he was a restricted free agent. He stayed here for about, I don't even know how long. I think it's about 7 years or something along those lines. That is a long time to be in one place at one time, and he stuck with us with some horrible teams, and at this point in time he has requested that trade finally. But the difference is Damian Lillard took Portland to places the Bulls have never been with Zach LaVine. That's the key difference there. So Damian Lillard took them to, I guess, Western Conference semifinals, round 2 in the playoffs before getting eliminated. Whereas Zach LaVine, the best he has gotten with this Bulls team is the first round exit. Unfortunately, that's the situation that we're dealing with. So I don't think Zach LaVine has earned the respect compared to the way that Damian Lillard has, but I think he has earned enough respect to at least have the teams like the Bulls listen to trade offers with the Lakers, with the 76ers, and with the Miami Heat. But ultimately, we got to think about ourselves first. If they're going to try to low blow us because they are preferences for Zach LaVine, then I'm sorry, we got to do and focus on ourselves first. I love Zach LaVine. No matter where he goes, I will respect him. I know a lot of people have lost the respect. The attitude is definitely an issue for Zach LaVine as well, that to take into consideration. But we got to focus on ourselves if those teams specifically want to low blow us. So what do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow if you are new. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.